Welcome back, everyone. It's that favorite time of the year. The holidays are in full swing, and we're here again with America's favorite hit podcast game show, Who Said It? That's right. Today, our contestants, that'll be Joe and Justin, will be playing to try to identify a quote as either being from the 1932 dystopian classic novel Brave New World, a 2024 quote from Donald Trump, or a 2024 quote from our president-elect Elon Musk. So we will be having a little quote off today to get this game going. As always, contestants, keep track of your own score. We're on the honor system. Low score does a shot of Malort at the end of our podcast today, and high score also does a shot of Malort at the end of our podcast today. So high stakes
Are you
here.
having bottles of Malort express shipped to us or something?
Yeah, how did you sneak Malort
Oh,
into
we
my
should
house?
pause for 5 seconds. Go check your front porch. Just kidding.
Oh, no.
All right. We had the budget for that. That'd be amazing.
That would be incredible.
All right, let's get this kicked off, ladies and gents. We're going to start you with an easy one. It's a layup for you to start off with. Are you ready for this? Remember, contestants, today you're identifying, is this a quote from Brave New World, Donald Trump, or Elon Musk?
Are we writing down our answers or are we just buzzing in? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, how does this work?
We're going to have, well, actually, I was going to just have you keep track of your own score and just score them as we go. But do you want to buzz in? Does that make it more fun?
Sure.
Okay.
I was just trying to establish the rules. I don't care. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. We just keep track of your own score. We'll go through these. I'll give you the answer after each one once you lock in your your answer, okay? All right. First one is an easy one. This is our quality assurance check here. It's a guaranteed point for everybody just to make sure we all know what's going on. Your first quote says, "They're eating the dogs."
Are we buzzing or no?
Are we buzzing in?
Let's have you write it down, but
Okay.
then I'll call on somebody.
All right,
Okay.
written down.
Written.
Okay, Joe, what is the first one?
Trump.
That is Donald Trump, yes. And rumor has it they have eaten all the dogs because you don't hear about it anymore. So there we go. All right, good job. They're eating the dogs. That's Donald Trump. And let's
Eating
go
dogs.
to our question number 2, our second quote. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I know you're having a hard time with this one again. Could be Brave New World or Donald Trump or Elon Musk. Keep in mind these are 2024 quotes other than Brave New World.
Is Tom Cruise's character from Tropic Thunder an option? Because I'm pretty sure he literally says that in that movie.
I don't want to give too many hints, but I will say that the person is quoting a line from the popular movie Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
So it's clearly Brave New World.
Yeah.
Probably what Brave New World was built on. All right, and we'll go to Justin. What do you think that is for number 2?
President-elect Elon Musk.
That is correct.
All right.
Way to vote for him and take his money for your vote, you filthy commie.
If I got money for voting for him, I would have my own podcast with blackjack and hookers.
Fair enough.
All right. I mean, not to interrupt, but would either of you have voted for Donald Trump just to get $1 million from Elon Musk?
The whole million?
Well, I think
Or
he
my
was
portion
randomly
of the million?
I think he was randomly giving away $1 million at a time to people.
I wouldn't have trusted him to actually follow through. So
What if it was guaranteed though? Like somehow it is 100% guaranteed that you will get $1 million for voting for Trump.
I still respect myself too much to do that. So no,
Ditto.
I wouldn't do it.
I also couldn't do it.
Me too, wink. Anyway.
But to follow up on that, it was $1 million total that he gave out with the supposed random lottery. But then when pressed by the government, it turned out it was not actually random at all. They had pre-chosen all the winners for each of the days. So
I don't know. I mean, Joe, your sound quality seems really, really good all of a sudden.
Okay. Let's go to quote 3. God spared my life for a reason, and that reason was to save our country.
God damn it.
Ugh.
What a year we've had, am I right?
Oh man.
Well, I'll just tell me when you have them locked in there.
Yep.
I'm not happy with my answer, but I locked it in.
Okay, Joe, back to you on this one.
Why are you gonna make me keep saying the T word?
I don't know.
Ronald Jump.
You got it. You got it.
I
Oh,
wanted to go. I put Brave New World because I didn't think he would ever give credit to anyone but himself for not dying in the assassination attempt. So
might be a
That
lead.
was the moment that he became like anointed,
Yeah.
and we started seeing all the awesome AI images of Trump Jesus and whatnot.
wait, those were AI.
Trump Jesus.
No.
All right.
Uh,
Quote
this is fitting
4.
that I'm drinking a Moscow Mule right now.
I like being myself, myself and nasty. I like being myself, myself and nasty. It's not Janet Jackson, in case your mind went there first, just to be
That is
clear.
definitely Brave New World.
I like being myself, myself and nasty. Are we locked in?
Yup.
Justin, what do you think this is?
That is Austin Powers. No,
Aldous
Uh,
Huxley.
Elon Musk again?
Nope, this is Brave New World.
Really?
What?
Yep.
Really?
That's actually Brave New World, yep.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, that's my first one I did not get. I also said Musk.
Musk. Can smell his musk from here. And it
Yeah.
smells like a Brave New World, am I right?
Brave is one word.
Oh boy. All right, let's do number 5, the halfway point. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary or extraordinary if you're one of those people.
Well, if it's a hyphen, then it's old timey. That means it has to be Brave New World.
That's true. Well, there's no
That's
hyphen
true.
in it if that helps.
Oh.
All right.
Maybe we
I
may need
feel
to take
less
a sip of your
confident about
Doritos
this.
here.
Did you say Doritos? Did you like blend Doritos with water or something?
That sounds disgusting.
There was like a Doritos flavored. Oh God, was it Absolute or there was a Doritos
No, it
flavored
was a
vodka.
unique.
Ugh.
It was just like Doritos alcohol.
Oh
Like
God! Oh, that's even worse.
it was not a flavored vodka. It was like literally just its own.
Did they ferment Doritos?
Thing.
I'm not sure. I
Ugh.
remember seeing that though. I almost bought a bottle.
I need I needs me some nacho cheese Zima like yesterday. Oh. And you like swirl it and all the little cheese chunks like swirl around when you do it.
All
Oh, it's like
right,
Orbits.
so
That's right.
what's the
Joe, what do you
answer?
think this is?
Um, it sounds too coherent to be Trump, so I'm guessing Musk on this one.
This is Elon Musk.
God damn it! One of
You
these has to
got
be
it.
Brave New World at some point.
The last one was Brave New World.
I know, but one that makes sense.
All right, let's keep it going here. We are on number 6. That is the secret of happiness and virtue, liking what you've got to do. That is the secret of happiness and virtue, liking what you've got to do.
And what you've got to do is grab him by the pussy.
Whoa.
What?
Both locked in?
Yeah.
Justin, what do you think this is?
This one's tricky. But I think you're throwing us a curveball. I'm going to say this one's Musk.
This is Brave New World.
Yes! Yes.
It's like
Oh,
this is going to
boy.
be like the one coherent and actually eloquent quote from Elon Musk, and nope.
All right, number 7. We've made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be that we just overcame obstacles that nobody thought were possible. We've made history
history of
for a
everything
reason
ever.
tonight, and the reason is going to be just that we overcame obstacles that nobody thought were possible. And locked in. Okay, Joe.
I have concepts of an answer. I said Trump on this one.
This is Trump. Yes, you got it. Justin, did you get that one?
Yes, finally,
Oh.
I actually have another point on the board.
Okay. All right, good. All right, next one, number 8. Oh boy, here we go. Being an entrepreneur is like eating glass and staring into the abyss of death. I'm gonna go with Justin. What do you got on that one?
I hate that you keep making me say Elon Musk, but I think that this sounds like one of his. It
Ooh,
really
this
does.
is actually Brave. No, this is Elon Musk. Yes,
Okay.
this is
I
Elon
actually,
Musk.
I actually picked Brave New World for that one. Like, because Elon Musk has never actually founded a company in his life.
Yeah, not according to him.
All he does is buy
Oh,
existing companies.
we love our non-resident citizens. All right, let's move on. Number 9. When people are suspicious with you, you start being suspicious with them. When people are suspicious with you, you start being suspicious with them. Oh, it's a toughie.
That is.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around the use of suspicious with instead of suspicious of.
I'll
It
cheers to
feels
that.
grammatically incorrect to me, but could it be like an old-timey phrasing or something?
You're making me change my answer here.
All right, I'm locked in.
All
I'm
right, we
probably
locked
wrong,
in.
but I'm locked in.
Same.
Justin locked in. All right, Joe,
Yep.
what's your
Yep.
guess?
I went with Brave New World.
This is Brave New World. You are
Woo!
correct. All right, and it comes down to number 10. This one's going to be extremely hard. Could be any of the three.
Not
Reminder
as
to
hard
our,
as I am right now. What?
I hear that. Reminder to our contestants. This is either from Brave New World, Donald Trump, or Elon Musk.
All
Here's
right.
number 10. You know what the weave is? I'll talk about like 9 different things and they'll all come back brilliantly together. And it's like friends of mine that are like English professors, they say, it's the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. And we are locked in and Justin.
That there is no way that it's not Donald Trump.
That is Brave New World. He copied that from it, which is the reason I made this whole game, actually.
Oh,
Just kidding. It's Donald Trump.
okay.
How bad do you think Brave New World is? Come on. Boring as hell, yes. All right, contestants, do we have a score for us tonight?
8 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
8 out of 10 and 6 out of 10. Joe is our winner of this year's intro game. Wait till we get to impressions later in the episode. He'll be doing great. Joe, a reminder, as winning today, you get to shot a Malort next time I see you in person. And Justin, next time I see you in person, as losing, you get a shot of Malort. So there we go.
All right. Never
All
going
right.
to any more of your events ever.
What a curious game.
That sounds
the
like
only way
you.
to win is not to play.
That's true. That is true. All right, everybody, welcome to the 2024 FONDies.
Woo!
Insert exciting musical cue here. FONDies. That's right. I don't need Brett's AI generator. I do it myself right there. All right, yes, it's our annual award show where we come back and look at the things that we looked at this year, our favorite things in different categories, some of our favorite podcasts we had this year, etc. It's our second annual Fondies. We didn't do this the first year, but we had a lot of fun with it the second year, so we thought we'd come back and do it again. And Joe and Justin are with me here. I'm Cody again for us on this episode. I guess just in a super brief format here. Any last things you guys want to plug you've been up to for 2024 before we jump into our awards today?
For me, it's been a very busy week because the holidays always seem to stretch far longer than they need to with my in-laws. But I did get a new video card out of the deal and ended up spending the better part of a day trying to install both that and a new power supply at the same time. Power supply had instructions. Video card didn't. I didn't realize the new video card needed 2 connections to the new power supply in order to get enough juice. So I spent the better part of a day trying to figure out why I wasn't getting any picture to my monitor when everything else should have been, connected. Because I was using the adapter from my old video card, which seemed like it fit. And I finally went to YouTube and it was like, make sure you're connecting the second one and you don't daisy chain it. I'm like, what second one? So I'm looking all over this thing, looking for another port to plug a power connector into. And yeah, there was one cable that came with the video card. Again, no instructions, no nothing, that had a second little dongle sticking off the side of it. And yeah, plug that in, to the power supply, plug the second thing in. It still didn't work. Then like 2 hours later, I decided to just try pushing the power button, see if anything happened, and then it worked. I have ghosts or something. So it's been an interesting week for me for the holidays, but that was probably the high point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What about
video
you?
carding over here. Joe, did you get that must-have Christmas item?
I did. I got a brand new shiny Fender Telecaster electric guitar. And it's awesome. It's probably the best, at least electric guitar I have ever played. It just feels great. It sounds great. I'm hoping it's gonna kind of encourage me to delve yet further into learning how to play guitar a little better. So
Nice.
that's pretty exciting.
Nice.
That's kind of mostly what I have been up to for the past couple days here is messing around with that thing. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I had a good holiday. My parents were here until this morning. They just left, and we had good times. We didn't do much. Some antique shopping, some light store shopping, a couple bookstores here and there. Did get some couple new board games, couple new video games. I guess the physically the largest thing I got for Christmas was a giant reciprocating saw. So I'm gonna plan to use that for some Halloween construction and also for some yard maintenance outside. So excited
What
for
could go
that.
wrong?
I know, right? Hey, I got through Halloween without getting injured this year, so that was a first. Well, I did have that arcade cabinet drop on me doing on the stairs, I guess. But other than that, that was kind of scary. But other than that, it
I
was all
believe it.
good. Oh, are you crying, Joe? I was okay. I think he's crying. Oh, I was okay,
What?
Joe. I think
No, I'm
yours.
just a very snotty human being, so I'm blowing
Ah,
my nose.
very
Oh,
good. Very good. All right, well, everybody, let's get into the Fondies proper here with some awards we have for this year. And I'm going to start us off here with a couple podcast-centric awards based on some of our behind-the-scene metrics here. It's interesting because I don't check a lot of these during the year. Just really we started doing it for this, but we're available in a lot of different places. I think we're on, oh, I don't know, top of my head, maybe 10 places you can check us out at to stream. And sometimes I go on one of those services and just see like what's performing well on that particular service. And sometimes,
Latvia tube, let's go.
you're right, Latvia, Latitude, we like Latube. That's actually not the right accent. Anyway, so let's start off with a couple of these. We're gonna do a deep cut here for this one. I think I think Joe was on this one. I think maybe Joe and Brett and I could be wrong on this though. But we're gonna start our Pondies off with the first award tonight. This is the most checked out episode on Apple this year on iTunes for the Friends Occasionally Not Disagreeing
So
podcast.
when you say most checked out, is it the
Yes.
most listened to, or is it the episode that I was the most checked out for?
There's no photo to go with this one other than the standard icon. So we're gonna assume it's based on time listening, but that's a great
Okay.
question. And the winner out of nowhere on this one is the Green Day Saviors album review.
Wow.
I know, I was quite shocked as well on that one. Kind of had forgot we did that one, to be honest, but that's the top listened to episode on Apple this year. And I'll do one more here before we get to some other awards from the hosts and I. This is our most watched YouTube video of the year for 2024. Justin's with us appropriately, so he will enjoy that our most listened to episode was Friends Occasionally Navigating Dungeons Eclipse Phase was our most listened to YouTube episode this year.
well,
And
drink to
he's
that.
there it is, busting out the copper mug for that one. All right. Well, let's involve our gents here as we get down into this other stuff, the actuals. Let's check out favorite video game of the year if you guys have one. Let's take a look at that one. Anybody want to go first on this one? Was there a game that just tickled your pink just the right amount this year?
Sure, I'll go first because my answer to this isn't what I thought it was going to be. For like since last year, probably around this time, I had really been looking forward to Atlas's new game, Metaphor Refantasio, and it's not a bad game by any means, but I don't know, something about it doesn't it didn't hit me quite as hard and quite as impactfully as I thought it would. So I honestly think my favorite game that I played this year was and I'm as surprised as you are on this one. Tormented Souls. I really enjoyed that one. It was just it scratched that old school survival horror itch while updating like mechanics and graphics to a modern standard. It was just a really fun time.
Was ReFantasio your honorable mentions? Is that like your number two, would you say?
I would say so. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was hoping it would be my game of the year, like without any sort of question, but just didn't quite work. So
fair enough.
yeah.
All right, good choice. Joe, do you have a favorite game this year?
Balatro. No, I'm just kidding. Or am
Oh,
I?
I actually thought it might have been.
So I want to preface this by saying, and this goes for most of the big categories, I have not played very many games, at least that were initially released in the year of our Lord 2024. And so when it comes to, giving awards for a given year, I feel like in my mind, at least, it should be something that was released that year. But it's also kind of true for movies for me. I think I just looked at a list. I think I've seen maybe 5 movies that were actually released this year, which is kind of shocking to me. Anyway, that being said,
Spoiler alert, I'm going to break your rule nonstop tonight, but go ahead.
all right. Well, the beauty of the Fond Pod is that we kind of each have our own metrics for how we approach things a lot of the time. Um, I kind of came in expecting to say that Balatro is my favorite game of the year. It certainly has kind of taken over my life. We did the episode about it last week, and it sounds like we all kind of enjoyed it. I think it is kind of an amazing game, especially given its background, only one person developing, et cetera, et cetera. But I honestly think the my favorite game that I played this year is one that kind of surprises me, and that is Thank Goodness You're Here,
Almost made a
which
joke
is
about Smacky Bum Bum for you.
another one that we did a review on. And the more I think about that game, the more I keep thinking about replaying it, which I probably will at some point in the near future. But um, I had some frustrations with that game, but overall, it was just incredibly unique and funny. And the ending really hit me with a wallop as I went on about at length in that review episode. So I think really I would have to say that's probably my favorite game of the year.
Excellent. Good choice. Um, I have an honorable mention for me. It is Tormented Souls, Justin. I put that as my number two for the year. I only did one honorable mention, but that was my number two. I also enjoyed just the really old school Resident Evil feel. No other game I've seen has done it as well as that game has done it as an homage, I think, and it was really
That
fun.
game came out in 2021. You
This is something we
bastards.
played this year.
We have a big backlog. What do you want us to say?
Yes,
No.
we do.
And speaking of
I have a big front log.
yes, not wrong there. My video game of the year is going to be Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda, which is a late
Shocking
entry.
new one.
And I did finally break down 3 days ago, and we bought a second copy of the game. So that is how popular it is in our household at the moment here. It's pretty crazy, but the sheer variability in it is just amazing. I love the first one so much, and I'm completely smitten with the second one now that I'm into it again and really giving it its fair due, which I didn't do when it first came out. But it's fun. Just I know my son and daughter and I are all like at different parts of the map and doing different quests, and so like we will try to talk to each other without spoiling too much of the game to each other. But it's fun to hear like they're in a totally different spot than I am for different things, and it's been really, really enjoyable, and I like the underworld mechanic in the game quite a bit, and starting to enjoy the sky as well now that I learned a few tricks. So, but yeah, that is my game of the year, video game of the year, that is. All
Nice.
right, let's do a couple more official ones here. We'll start with I don't know if Justin's home alone or not, but our Fond Guest Host of 2024 award. We only had two contenders this year, Dan and Jessica, and Jess is the winner for our Guest Host of the Year award this year.
Yay.
Nice.
So there is another one.
Yeah, she is actually not in the house right now, but I'll let her know when she gets back.
That explains why you're naked. I wondered why, but
Hey, I mean,
it's why we
I knew
don't
you'd
do
put
the
pieces
video
together.
version. There
He's
we go.
not really naked, dear listeners. He's only pantsless.
Sorry. You're right.
I'm naked in the parts that count.
Okay, and we'll do one more here as well. This is the Fond Host of 2024 award, with the criteria being the same as last year to remind our dear listeners, most episodes hosted is a factor, prep
It's
work is a factor,
Justin.
variety of topics is a factor, good analysis is a factor, and our Fond Host of 2024 this year is not Dave, just to be clear. It's Brett this year.
Oh, nice.
Not
Yay!
here to accept, but always
I'm
with
happy
some.
to accept this award in his honor.
There you go. Always with some games to play and some good jokes. And Brett actually topped us out with 40 episodes hosted this year. So
Wow.
he was a busy boy, 40 out of
I,
52.
I have always said that I think Brett is a great podcast host.
He sure is. He's got a face made for it. All
Oh, hey.
right. Let's keep it going here. Let's go to our favorite movie of 2024 category. What do you guys have for your favorite movies this year? Or I can go first if you
Well,
want me to. Then
I looked like Justin was ready to go.
Oh, I was going to say I went first last time, so I was going to offer
I'll
to
I'll
let
hop in
somebody.
here.
There we
all
go.
right.
So this, as I mentioned, I was really trying to stick to movies of 2024 because that's the name of the category. But I'm slightly fudging my own rules because this movie was originally released at a film festival in 2022, but it did not get any sort of wide release until this year. But even if I was going for movies that I watched this year, this would probably still be my favorite. And that is Hundreds of Beavers. I know this is a movie I've mentioned a few times on this podcast, which I don't know if anyone else has actually checked out, but
Could just be you and the director, to be honest.
I know I have at least a couple friends outside of the podcast that have listened to the movie on my recommendation and really loved it because it's an amazing movie. It's just incredibly unique and fun and unlike anything I've ever seen before. And honestly, I'm sure I mentioned this previously when talking about it, but I think you gents would appreciate it. I mean, on multiple levels, but not least of which, it's not really part of the marketing, but the actual structure of the movie is very much video game inspired to the point where there's like literally a shop that the main character has to like keep like going back to upgrade what they can buy from it and like so there's a lot of nods to that hobby in there as well. Anyway, it's an awesome movie. Everyone should watch it. Hundreds of Beavers. Check it out.
I got to share with you, we rented Cannibal the Musical in the last 2 weeks, and when the movie was done, it automatically switched to a trailer for Hundreds of Beavers. What was it called? Hundreds of Beavers?
Yes.
Yes, it started going to that, and Karen was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Let me tell you about this movie." So
I
it's
feel
funny,
like there is weirdly kind of a similar energy between those two movies. So,
interesting.
Huh.
Well, I will check that out at some point. Is that streaming anywhere or not?
I
I'm actually
I
looking it
bought
up
it
right
through
now.
Amazon. I don't know if it's streaming
Okay,
free anywhere. You should at least be able to rent it though.
okay,
It is on Prime, according to some of my sources.
No.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
and
okay.
Pluto TV if you don't want to pay for Prime.
Oh, that's not even a planet anymore.
Yeah, but it's a TV station now.
I guess.
Free with ads. Free
All
with
right,
ads.
I'll go
So,
next
yeah.
here. My movie of 2024. This is an unusual one.
Hmm.
I loved the only Marvel release this year, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. However, it is not my movie of the year. It's probably an honorable
What?
mention if I were to make a list up there someplace.
There were no Nintendo movies this year, were there?
Not that I know of. It was one that I wanted to see this year. I think it was on my top 10 anticipated for 2024. And my movie of the year, with if I didn't put a number on this, because we didn't do a podcast on it, but it would be hard for me to not put a near 10 on this, if not a 10, is Wicked, which is fantastic. Honestly, I thought it would be good. We love the musical in our family, so I was nervous how it would translate onto the screen. I just went to it for the second time this past week. The only movie I've gone to twice in many years, and it is so good. The performances in the movie are so good. Minus, I will stay with what I say with Jeff Goldblum being okay, but the rest of it, well done. Only cried once this time watching it though, And
Wait, you only cried once this time? How many
this
times did you
time,
cry the first time?
two the first time. There's definitely two that are going to make you bawl your eyes out. So
How,
be ready.
but how long did each of the two crying sessions last? Like an hour and a half each, or?
Yeah, it was basically like done, and then I went to get a refill of popcorn and came back, and same thing. But it's fantastic. I can't wait for the second part to come out next year. It's going to be great. And yeah, even Ariana Grande was delightful in it, which I didn't think was possible. So there we go. That's my movie of the year, though. Wicked.
Okay. All right. So
Justin's
mine.
website of the year, Wicked also.
Oh,
Hey, I
hey.
mean, if they're pushing the branding that hard, you know. But my honorable mention is also Deadpool and Wolverine, because you mentioned that in passing on yours. Very very fun movie, very solid. But it just got squeaked out by one that I had no expectations for, that I was really bracing myself to hate because I've been burned so many times before. But that movie is Alien Romulus. It brings the series back to its horror roots.
Nice.
It has really good direction. Cinematography is on point. Some really creative scenarios that the characters get put in. There's some sequences that are just downright creepy, and it has characters that you care about. At least I did. But yeah, I haven't seen an actual good Alien movie since probably the second one. And yeah, this one gives me a bit of hope for maybe the rest of the series continuing on in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, if you were on the fence or you were just writing off Alien Romulus because it's like, oh, it's going to be like another Covenant or Prometheus or one of those, give it a try. You might actually like it, because I was very, very pleasantly surprised myself.
Prometheus rules for the record.
Don't go down this rabbit hole.
Go down the rabbit hole, Alice. You can do this. It's good to hear, though, Justin,
This thing's
because
gonna be like 5 hours long. Go ahead. What was that?
I was just gonna say it's good to hear because I do feel like that franchise takes a lot of slack sometimes with releases they've put out. So
It does.
I wouldn't mind actually sitting and watching all those sometime because I think I've only for sure seen Alien, to be honest. I'm
Oh,
not even
really?
sure I've seen Aliens
Huh.
I have weirdly
positively.
seen I've seen those two and Prometheus. But I have not
Hmm.
seen three or Resurrection. Is that the
hmm
fourth one?
Three is
Resurrection?
Yeah, three is better than it gets credit for. It's still not a good film. Four, Resurrection it's bad. It's really bad.
Okay. Let's check out our next category here. We're gonna go to oh boy, which way is more fun to go? Let's go with this one first. Let's give out our Fond Seal of Approval Award for 2024. This is a big one, folks. This is what we reviewed. That is got to be a new property. It can't be a classic thing that we reviewed and scored. It has to be something new from this year, to be clear in this one. And it also has to have an average score of 8.5 or higher to be eligible to be in this category. Now, I will start before we do our nominees by saying I actually had to lower the criteria this year to 8.0 because we didn't have enough fit the criteria to be in 8.5 like we did last year.
Wow.
So here are the nominees with a score of at least 8.0 or higher. We have six of them this year for our podcasts. We have the Fallout series, Deadpool and Wolverine, Tormented Souls, Agatha All Along, the Mr. McMahon documentary, and Balatro as our six with the score high enough to qualify for this one. And our winner for this year is Fond Seal of Approval 2024, the only one that had the score above 8.5. And taking home the honors this year is Deadpool and Wolverine as our best, highest rated thing we looked at in 2024. So there we go. Congratulations to Ryan Reynolds for finally pissing off Hugh Jackman enough to make that movie. So there we go.
Until you're
Uh,
90.
yeah. All right.
That was also my
Next.
runner-up for best movie of the year for the record.
Nice.
Oh, it's universally loved. Gotta say that. Okay. We'll follow that right up with our Fond Most Disappointing Award for 2024. Has to have an average review score of 6 or lower. That would be the cutoff of D minus to failing in the school world. We have multiple nominees in this category, so let's go through the hit list of lowest reviewed things we looked at this year. Let your mind wander back and sigh with pain and frustration for having endured these. Here we go. We have Echo Series Review. We have Roadhouse 2024 version. Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets Department.
Wow.
Star Wars The Acolyte. Layers of Fear video game. And The Rings of Power Season 2. Ooh.
Ooh, how's only on like half of those episodes?
Oh my gosh. But we have a clear runaway winner with this for this year with an abysmal score. The winner of the most disappointing thing we watched in 2024 by far is Roadhouse 2024. Our congratulations go out to Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
I don't know if we should be congratulating Conor McGregor these days.
Oh. Can we ironically congratulate him? Okay, not even?
Congratulations with
Congratulations. There we go. Oh, goodness. All right, let's go back to our hosts here with some more host-centric awards. Let's check out favorite TV show of 2024. Oh, my goodness. If you guys want me to go first on this one, I will. It's a controversial one. I feel like a lot of these, in going back and looking at like even trying to find what I watched or went through this year, is a pretty hard list. I did find finally to look at your Netflix history and go through and see how to find those. And then I compared that with some other things I had from different services, thought about what the family gets together to watch, etc. But I'm trying to do a show that was
Skeleton Crew and get it over with.
I haven't even started that yet.
Oh.
Same.
I haven't started that yet. So I am going to pick something that's new for 2024 to me. My couple honorables that didn't quite make it are Agatha All Along and Arcane as my new ones to me this year. And I, to be also fair, did not count AEW Dynamite show on Wednesday because that'd probably be my top show every time. But I just don't count that because it's whatever. But my show of 2024, I watched in the last 2 weeks, believe it or not, so it could be some recency bias here, but it is one I mentioned in the chat to everybody. It was on Stars originally, is now on Netflix for free if you have Netflix, and it is a show called Heels, Heels, referring to the bad guy from wrestling. This has a small cast, as I mentioned a couple episodes ago that I was watching this, but just basically a family that runs a small wrestling promotion in the South and the struggles they have with like trying to make ends meet with their bills and deal with talent and drama with the family outside of all that. And that last episode of season 1, I think I mentioned just, man, it was like 2:30 in the morning. I have been wrapping presents for hours, but I was bawling my eyes out at the end of that show. It was so good. Like it made me feel things in a way that no other TV show did this year. So can't wait to watch season 2. I haven't done that yet, but Heels, Heels, is my top TV show of the year. How about you guys?
I'll go next. Why not? Two honorable mentions. First, Agatha All Along, because that was much better than I expected. Just given Marvel's recent run of things, and especially centering on a character I didn't really care that much about at first. Yeah, that one surprised me, so very solid show. And this is where we delve into Justin's tastes here. Second honorable mention, Delicious in Dungeon on Netflix. It's an anime. Fantasy, where basically the premise is one of the main characters, he and his sister are both adventurers. His sister gets eaten by a dragon on a lower level of a labyrinth. Word gets to him, and he's like, well, dragons they're very large, so they digest things very slowly. We have a window where we can go down and rescue her, but we don't really have time to prepare. So the whole premise of the show is them trying to find this dragon somewhere in the labyrinth, and the only food they have on the way pretty much is whatever monsters they kill and eat along that they encounter in their travels. So it's part like cooking show, part fantasy adventure, and it's really just kind of a strange mix of cozy and action, and it's a fun show if you're into cooking or fantasy or any of that sort of thing. Just strong characters, really neat concept, very fun. Um, my favorite show that I did watch this year is also an anime called Dandadan. Now, this I believe is also on Netflix at this point. It started on Crunchyroll, but I think it moved over. Um, this is a classic story of boy meets girl, and with a twist. So, boy believes in UFOs, girl believes in ghosts. Each one thinks the other is an idiot for what they believe in. So, boy challenges girl to go to a UFO hotspot. Girl challenges boy to go to a haunted tunnel. Girl gets abducted by aliens. Boy gets possessed by a ghost. Absolute madness ensues, and it is just one of the most outlandish and entertaining and yet heartfelt things I've seen in a very long time.
Wow.
I read the source material, like a good chunk of it, and I knew what to expect, but seeing it actually animated on the screen, it elevates it a bit. Um, there are a few trigger warnings I should throw out there for anyone who's sensitive about certain things, like the aliens. They do attempt to do like a probing at one point, so if that sort of thing bugs you, just be warned. They're unsuccessful, I'll say that, but it is kind of uncomfortable to watch. But it's got some fantastic characters. The art is just top notch, and you never know what this thing is going to throw at you next. It's got comedy, it's got a romance angle, it's got a ton of action and sci-fi and paranormal stuff. It is the whole package, and it is a fantastic show. So if you like anime at all and you're looking for something different and good, I cannot recommend Dandadan highly enough.
Hmm. Never heard of that, but it sounds. Justin, out of curiosity, do you believe in UFOs?
I mean, by the strict definition of unidentified flying objects, sure.
Do you
Do I
believe in
believe it?
ghosts?
Uh, More so than I did before the Faces of Belmez episode.
Uh, does Jess
Um,
believe in ghosts?
I have never really gotten a solid answer out of her on that.
Does she
I
believe
think
in UFOs?
I think so.
Just trying to determine who's who. Okay.
That is fair. But seriously, check it out. It's a good time.
Joe, what obscure Apple show is your favorite?
Well, funny you should ask. Actually, I thought about having an Apple show be mentioned here, but I decided against it.
Oh,
My favorite show of the year is Lord of the Rings: The Rings of Power. I'm so kidding. It's not. It's not that.
that wasn't even
I
the main
do.
star's favorite show of the year. She said so.
I do have to shout out Agatha Long, as you guys already did. It was a great show. Um, I also want to mention probably my first runner-up is Fallout, which we've already talked extensively about on this podcast, but
Good
especially as
call.
a fan of the game franchise, I was just amazed at how well they captured the tone of the games while also, working on a new narrative. But for my favorite show I watched this year, I'm actually throwing my rules out the window because this is a show that I've only seen the first season of, which debuted in 2022, although there was a second season released this year, so I guess it kind of counts. And that is Interview with the Vampire, which I know I've mentioned on this podcast before. It
Hmm.
is originally an AMC show, but they released the first season on Netflix earlier this year, and it's just really good. It's got some horror elements. It's funny at times. It's just like the performances are all just captivating. I could not stop watching this show. It's also super gay, so Cody probably would like it too. But seriously, I mean, I honestly feel like this is a show that unless you're like a hardcore homophobe, you probably wouldn't like it in that case. But outside of that, I feel like this is a show that pretty much anyone could enjoy. So check it out.
Nice. Nice. Okay, let's do one more podcast award here. This is the Fond overall most listened to episode of 2024 according to Spotify, which is more or less our central platform, how I run things behind the scenes with distribution. But our nominees here for our most listened to episodes of 2024. Joe'll be happy about one of these. We have Pearl Jam's Dark Matter review,
Yeah.
Fallout premiere review, the Friends Occasionally Navigating Dungeons Eclipse phase, top 10 Pink Floyd songs, believe it or not.
Ooh.
Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department review, our most listened to episodes this year. And the most listened to episode of those is Eclipse Phase. Again, Justin pulling off a double duty here.
Boo!
Wins our YouTube award and our most listened to episode on
Did I?
Spotify this year.
I guess you probably don't have all the statistics in front of you, but I'm curious if our Chaperone episode got any listens.
Oh boy, this is awkward. I never actually published that one, Joe, just because I couldn't do it.
Well,
I felt like we were objectifying her by publishing it and we needed a phenomenon, so I let it go. So that's where we're at. I can get you those statistics
Cool.
whilst we're watching here
Sure.
while we're doing stuff. All right. We have one more big podcast award to give out, but before we do that, I want to open up the floodgates here. Do you guys have any other awards you want to give out this year, non-category that we looked at so far? Anything else you have here?
I do have a couple of words that, I mean, they're kind of related in some cases to things we've already discussed, but
Go for it.
start off with movie that most needs its jugular torn out, and that is the Roadhouse remake, which was apparently also our lowest rated property of the year, rightly so. It is just a steaming pile of dog shit.
Agreed.
I've got worst game that I have played this year, and that one goes out to maybe the most recent game I have played, which is Brave New World, Donald Trump or Elon Musk. Speaking of steaming piles of dog shit, I got a couple other ones, but Justin, do you have any words you want to hand out?
Yeah, I've got a few. So in no particular order, I'll go with the best surprise of 2024.
Oh, thank you.
And I'll
Finding out you're
actually-
pregnant.
Oh. I wasn't sure like how we were arranging these, so I'd actually have like nominees, and I was gonna do like a
Go for it.
award goes to. Okay, so the nominees are Blue Sky as a Twitter alternative, Marvel Rivals, Agatha All Along, Alien Romulus, and the Silent Hill 2 remake. And again, this is the best surprise of 2024, and the award goes to Marvel Rivals, which is the thing that I kept alluding to that I wouldn't talk about over the past couple of weeks. It is essentially Overwatch with a Marvel skin and some updated mechanics. It's free to play. It has really good art design. The levels, have destructible environments in parts of them. There's team up abilities between like certain heroes, and it's just a lot of fun. I have sunk a good number of hours into this just because I missed the original Overwatch, and this surprised the heck out of me in being a very close approximation. So, best surprise of 2024, Marvel Rivals. If you haven't played it, give it a go. You're really missing out.
This is a PC console or mobile?
It's PC. Let me look up what else it's on. Give me 1 second here.
I have to confess, I don't know that I've even heard of this.
Yeah,
It's apparently on everything. Except
Okay.
Switch, probably.
PS5, Windows, Xbox,
Everything but Switch.
Yep, everything but Switch. So and mobile. I don't see a mobile list here, but yeah, the major consoles and PC.
Whoa,
So-
why did you say major consoles? I
I
don't like the way you said that.
The ones that can run current games. Let's put it that way.
All right, I'll go next. Biggest asshole of the year award goes to, and our nominees are Donald
it's still
Trump,
me.
Elon Musk, and Justin, and it's Justin.
I play a lot of things on my Switch. But it's very long in the tooth.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Next year we'll get a replacement. All right, I got a couple here. I'll throw one out and keep going around the circle here. I got one that actually is called the Fuck You Award. And there's no nominees. This is just straight given to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Congratulations. Fuck You Award goes to you this year.
The views of Cody Fleming are not necessarily those of the Fun Podcast.
That's true, but they are my views, and fuck you. So, next up, I will do a quick shout out to.
I believe in God Emperor Trump.
I didn't get to as many this year as I had liked to again this year, but I did play a few board games this year here and there. And my board game of the year is actually the same game as last year, which is My City. And if you haven't played this yet, if you have a significant other or a group of 3 or 4 to play with, go get a copy of this. There's some on sale right now at Barnes & Noble if you're lucky for $20. And it's going to provide you about 14, 15, 16, 21 sessions of play, I believe, if my numbers are correct on that. So pretty damn cheap. Fantastic little game where you're moving around Tetris pieces on the board to build a city every round. It's pretty fun. All right. Anybody else have something they want to throw out?
Uh, sure. Based off of some of Cody's earlier comments, this is the category most likely to end the podcast as we know it. So the nominees are global thermonuclear war,
Ooh.
an angry mob with pitchforks and torches,
Hmm?
legislation against anything that gives people joy, Brett and his AI shenanigans, or we cause horrible offense to Latvia. So the winner is Brett with his AI shenanigans.
Yes.
I fully expect one of these weeks to be like, so what did you do this week, Brett? And he'd be like, well, I'm glad you asked because I've been tweaking this algorithm, and I think it's time to debut Cody Bot, Joe Bot, and Justin Bot.
Damn it, you figured out his evil plan.
That's pretty funny.
Thank you. I tried.
That's pretty funny. Each of those two, I was like, yep, 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 yep. That's pretty funny.
Thanks.
Oh, goodness.
I have a returning category from last year,
Ooh.
which is favorite Florence Pugh performance. This year, there's really only one nominee because she was only in 2 movies this year, and I have only seen one of them, and that is Dune: Part 2.
Ooh.
It wins by default because it is the only Florence Pugh movie I saw this year. Also, she's pretty good in the 10 minutes of it she's in.
Okay.
What's her other movie?
It's with Andrew Garfield. It's like a romantic drama. We Live in Time.
Oh, wow.
I think that either just came out, or is coming out soon. I think it must have just came out. Anyway.
Okay.
Florence Pugh.
Interesting. All right, I'll throw another one out there. This is going to be my Can We Get It Already award. And my Can We Get It Already award, we got 2 nominees here because I just thought of it. But I'm going to do a tie in this one. We have 2 winners. Can We Get It Already? The Nintendo Switch 2 and the Wheel of Time Season 3. Seriously, can we get it already? What are we waiting on here? I needs me those.
Kind of surprised Silk Song didn't make an appearance.
Nah, not
But
compared
we're
to
never
those
gonna
2.
get
I am
that.
too, actually. Yeah.
Can we get it already?
Actually, on that note, I'd like to nominate my biggest disappointment of 2024. Or not nominate, but actually award. So the nominees are the Borderlands movie, AAA gaming as a whole, Hollow Knight Silksong, Where Are You? The PS5 Pro, and all right, let's see. So the winner is wait. We're getting an 11th hour entrant here. Hang on. Okay. Oh, well, with numbers like that, I mean, I can't not award it to this late entrant, this new contender. The award for the biggest disappointment of 2024 goes to the entire United States of America, who looked at democracy and said, this isn't worth it because eggs are kind of expensive. Who are the United States of America for behaving like an art school student who, after one semester, isn't painting like Picasso. So they decided the only reasonable course of action is to shoot the teacher and set the building on fire.
Oh, boy.
So congratulations, United States of America. You are the biggest fucking disappointment of 2024.
Justin's views do not necessarily reflect those of the entire Fine podcast.
Justin's views do not entirely reflect.
Better luck next time, AAA Gaming. You almost got it. And I do mean better luck next time. Do better. You only lost because we elected a fucking dictator.
I love you, other god Emperor Elon.
Oh, goodness. All right, I got to do one for my travels this year, and I'm going to do my As Cool as Advertised award. Goes to Japan for this year. For the 2 weeks we were there, excellent place. If you can get over there, fantastic experience for Americans. I will say, too, at least when we went there, the conversion rate was very much in our favor. I think I mentioned we got some pretty nice hotels for really cheap, and we also got meals for 4 for $26, 3-course meals. It's great conversion, great currency exchange. The culture was fantastic. People were super nice. Saw a lot of cool things. Wouldn't be opposed to going back and trying it again sometime. Food was difficult as a celiac, I will say, sometimes to find stuff to eat, but it was still pretty dang cool. Check it out. It's across the ocean. If you're a flat earther,
Insert
make sure you go the right way.
insert shocked Pikachu gif here.
I would like to give an award to being poor. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
All right.
I only have one more award to give, which is my favorite concert of 2024.
Yeah, buddy.
This is not actually necessarily the concert that I necessarily enjoyed the performance itself the most, but my favorite concert was in September when I took my dad to see Jeff Lynne's ELO. I had seen them a couple times previously and loved them, and my dad had been wanting to see them, but had not had the chance. And they did a farewell tour this year, and I got to take him to that as a surprise. So that was a lot of fun, and was probably the concert that meant the most to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What if they upgraded to LEDO and they were just change with the times?
Let's see. I think I've got 3 left. How many do you have left there, Cody?
I got 2.
Okay. I'll do a quick one then. So the award for the host I would most like to do more episodes with. I'm not going to list off all of you because, I mean, you know who we all are.
Wow.
So the winner is Dave. I mean, I really don't remember the last episode that I did where Dave was a part of it. And
did he host any this year?
He hosted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 this year.
Oh.
Okay. But yeah, hop back on, Dave. You're missing some good times.
As recently as 7 episodes ago, he was here.
Huh.
But it had been quite a while before that, though.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. My next one is kind of similar to Joe. I'm going to do this as I'm going to call this best memory as the category. I guess you could go through and maybe think about if it's best memory or not. But I mentioned that I was very fortunate last year, which is getting to this year, but last year, my birthday combined with Christmas present was to go see Pro Wrestler Sting's last match in South Carolina with my son and AW Revolution pay-per-view down there. And we were, up in the nosebleeds, but it was probably one of the coolest things I'm happy I was there to see was just to see his last match and the whole, I mean, there literally were 20,000 people crying at that. So it was quite a moment to be there for. And a guy that I've watched basically my entire life, maybe minus a couple of years, was pretty cool to be at. And having my son there, I guess, was a little bonus cherry on top of it all too, so he could be there with me. But that was pretty dang cool. So I'm gonna put that down as best memory of 2024.
Oh.
Okay. So I will go to the best. We don't talk about books much on this podcast, so I want to rectify that a little bit. So the best fiction book I read in 2024. Now, again, it's not necessarily a book that was published in 2024, but just of what I read.
Mein Kampf.
No, I said fiction. Okay, that didn't go over well.
Mein Kampf in the United States.
Anyway, nominees are Lords of Uncreation by Adrian Tchaikovsky, Echo by a man whose name I'm probably going to butcher because he's Dutch, Thomas Olde-Huevelt, What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, and Ebony Gate by Julia V. And the winner is Lords of Uncreation by Adrian Tchaikovsky. That is the 3rd book in the best sci-fi space opera trilogy I have read in a very, very long time. It has alien races that actually feel alien and not just like, reskins of, the cultures you'd see on Earth. Really unique premise, power plays that span pretty much the entire galaxy. It is a fantastic series. The first book is called Shards of Earth. Author, again, is Adrian Tchaikovsky. I don't want to say too much about it, but it is one of the best times I've had reading sci-fi in a hell of a long time. So check it out. It's a great series.
All right. That's a good call. We don't talk about books very much. You're right.
Yeah.
Um, sub note for Joe, I did look up the Chapel Roan for you, and I'll mention that here. It was lower down on our list for the year.
Wow.
However, it did get exactly the same number of streams as my last award, which is my favorite new album of the year, which I gave to Linkin Park from Zero. I didn't think this band would ever actually be a band again, but here they
Cody's
are.
support of Scientologists does not necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the Fun podcast.
Oh my God, we've already gone through this. All right. Anyway, and going to see them this year in 2025 coming up here. So we'll see how they are live. Intrigued with their theater in a round approach they're taking with all their shows now. So we will see.
Also, Joe,
But I
don't
enjoyed
worry.
it.
What was that, Justin?
I said, also, Joe, don't worry. I'm sure Brett's CodyBot 2.0 will be vehemently anti-Scientology.
Scientists are people too, Joe.
Scientology.
I don't know why you hate scientists.
If God Emperor Trump and co-God Emperor Musk tell me not to believe science, then I will not believe in science.
All
And
right.
soon to be head of the health department, RFK Jr.
Future President JD Vance.
I left polio off of my list of things that might end the podcast.
Well, that's going to be next year's award when there's
There we
only
go.
two of us left alive.
All right, so my
Dave will
last
be one, so we're screwed.
Oh, yeah. All right, so my last category is the best nonfiction book I read this year.
Mein Kampf.
I was waiting for that.
Oh boy.
Go make yourself another drink before vodka costs another $30 a bottle. All right, so anyway, the nominees are, this is a mouthful. The King
That's
in
what she said.
Orange, The King in Orange, The Magical and Occult Roots of Political Power. Even if that one doesn't win, I feel like I need to explain it a bit.
Yeah, what? You're planning a
that is-
takeover? Are you going to be on the list?
We'll see. That is by John Michael Greer. Second nominee is Chip War by Chris Miller. Third is Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground by Stu Horvath. The fourth is NES Endings Compendium Volume 1 by Ray Esteban. And finally, On the Trail of the Jackalope by Michael P. Branch. And the winner for this category for me is actually Monsters, Aliens, and Holes in the Ground, which is a historical retrospective of the tabletop gaming hobby. Everything from predating D&D as we know it, all the way to present day as of like 2023. It's got a huge swath of the hobby. There was a Dallas role-playing game like based off of the old TV show at one point, just to give you an idea of how obscure some of this crap is. But yeah, it's fascinating, and as a fan of that hobby, yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it. And a bit about The King in Orange, I saw this at Half Price Books and decided, sure, I'll spend $7 on this. Magic makes as much sense as anything else as an explanation for how things turned out the way they did. What I wasn't expecting to find was a surprisingly cogent and self-aware look at why people vote the way they do, at least for the first half of the book. Talking about like demographics and the outliers of society and all that, and it is one of the most well-rounded looks at this whole mess that I've seen in a really long time. And that was only about the 2016 election. It was published in, I think, 2020. But it by extension, a lot of what he says extends to 2024. When he starts getting into the actual talk about magic and that being real, quote unquote, it's shakier, but a lot of the front-loaded stuff is surprisingly well laid out. So yeah, I don't know if I could really recommend it to your average reader, but it was definitely interesting. So I would say that would probably be my honorable mention.
My last award is favorite nonfiction of the year. It's a book called Smacky Bum Bum. It's written by President-elect Donald Trump. He doesn't remember writing it or saying the things that are in it, but let's move on.
Or how to spell any of the words.
Yes. Okay, you guys got any more words?
Oh, that was the last one for me.
Very good. Well, let's go to our final award of the evening slash morning slash when you're listening to this, dear fondling and fondlers. Before we get to that, though, I did just check out of curiosity. Joe hosted 28 episodes this year, counting this episode. And I just want to put a sincere, and I do mean actual sincere, thank you out to our hosts this year because last year Justin had the most episodes hosted with 29. And if you've been on the podcast a lot this year, we have very, very, very frequently had three hosts this year, sometimes even four hosts. And so the fact that Justin won last year with 29 episodes and Joe had 28 and he was third this year really shows how much you guys stepped up your commitment for being on the air. Brett had 40 and Justin, I didn't count yours, but you were somewhere between the two, probably close to the 40, I would guess. So
Okay.
He's the meat in the sandwich.
he's pretty good. You guys are pretty good. So our lifetime
Nice.
totals as of this episode is going to put Justin and Brett in a statistical tie with 91 episodes each. Good thing you
Wow.
poisoned him for today, Justin. And
Good.
Joe at 79. He's got some makeup work to do.
That's not as big of a gap as I would have thought, though.
Not bad, not bad. Not bad. All right. Let's get to our last award of the evening here. This is the Fond episode of 2024. Criteria for this one: great analysis by the hosts, good professional feel of our overall format, good debate and comments, and genuine reactions from things within the episode itself. We have a handful of really good ones that I chose out here for nominees this year, and they include Album Exchange 1, featuring Linkin Park, Jason Isbell, and Ford Atlantic, The Irish Mystery of Peter Bergman, The Eclipse Phase Role Play, Tales from the Loop, Clerks, a 30-year retrospective, Brett's Surprise music theme episode, and the Thank Goodness You're Here review episode.
Thank
as our
goodness you're
nominees.
here.
Hey, thank goodness. And this year for the Fond episode of 2024, I chose the Irish Mystery Peter Bergman episode. My gosh.
Ooh.
Right? What's in the plastic bag? I still want to know.
I mean, multiple things from the sound of it.
I just
just
want to know what's in the plastic bag.
I
Fun
did
episode,
listen
though.
to that one, and it was a pretty good episode.
It was a pretty good episode. Fun when we have something we're not sure what the hell we're talking about, but a lot of speculation else. But we had some really good episodes this year. Ones I mentioned, and then a lot of other ones on here as well. We looked at a lot of movies, a lot of video games this year as well. Surprising amount of video games, actually, we got through this year. And what else we got here? Some TV, some role plays that we did, some true crime, a couple supernatural episodes in there as well, and a couple wacky episodes we just did on top of all that. But if you are listening to us out there and have enjoyed the Fond Pod for an episode or for going on, 3 years now, hard to believe. Thank you for all your support out there. Anything you guys want to say to wrap up our year?
Since I missed the first iteration of the FONDies. Sorry, I made that Moscow Mule very strong. But I do feel like I should say a few things.
Don't you mean Miami Mule? You can't drink Moscow Mules in the United States anymore. Come on. Oh, it's not 25 yet. Never mind. Go ahead.
No, I thought they were buddy. Anyway,
It's
Oh,
true.
maybe so.
So I am kind of amazed at just how regular of a thing this has been. I initially kind of expected it to just be like something to get us all through the pandemic, something, just a nice distraction from all the crap that was going on. But we've all stuck with it pretty much. And I've come to look forward to these episodes on a regular basis because it's a way to touch base with you gents who I don't get to see in person really much at all. And it's just, I have come to view this little corner of the internet that we've carved out for ourselves as just one of my favorite things. It's a nice little beacon of, goodness in the world, and I think that means something. Not to be too sappy or anything, but I really am glad that this
Okay.
has survived as long as it has. So here's to three more years.
Nice,
Ah,
buddy.
Of course.
thanks, man. That is nice. I feel the same way. This is a nice way. I mean, I primarily look at this podcast as a way to, keep in touch with you gents, which is why I so often come completely unprepared because I just want to hang out with you guys, and it's nice. I feel like it also is teaching us who our real friends are. Looking at you, Dave. But in all seriousness, I do actually want to get serious for a second here and say thank you to Cody for
All right.
being the one who kind of keeps this whole thing going. Even the very rare episode that he doesn't actually appear on as a host, he is kind of behind the scenes putting together the Zoom channel for all of us and getting everything posted. So it literally could not happen without you. So thank you, Cody.
My gosh.
Thank you.
I don't know that I can top what you guys said, so I'll just say thank you to the hosts as mentioned, and especially our favorite host, Blue.
R.I.P.
Yes. Yes. Been about a year and 2 months since we've seen Blue on here. So
Wow.
Was that the Berkeley Marathon? Was that the last thing that he showed up on?
he showed up for, oh well, wait a second. Actually, that was a
I feel like
compilation
he
episode
has
we did.
randomly cameoed a time or two,
Yeah, that
but
could be.
I don't
The
know if he's
Barkley
really full
Marathon,
on.
yeah, was actually the last one he was live on.
Yeah.
He got credit for a compilation episode we reran, but
Okay.
um yeah, so yeah, I just say thanks to you guys as well. It's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work every week, especially, if people are listening to us and they don't know what we're doing behind the scenes. Like watching something's not too bad if it's a movie, but if it's a TV show, that's 20 hours of your life, and if it's a video game, that's sometimes more than that of your life to prep and kind of juggling all them. And I get very frequently in my house, like, don't you ever do anything just because you want to anymore, not because it's for the podcast? And I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I gotta get podcast stuff in. So, but it's fun because we review stuff that I think is interesting anyway. So it's not like I'm reviewing much stuff I would never want to be exposed to. So, all right, well, that's going to do us here at the Fondies 2024. And thank you all for listening. And stay with us, Fondling and Fondlers, as we will march into 2025 with all kinds of stuff. We got a lot of reviews already on tap, ready to go. And
Stay
of
tuned next
course,
week for our review of Hundreds of Beavers.
hundreds of beavers.
I am going to have to check that out.
Stay tuned for the sequel to Hundreds of Beavers due to human encroachment, Three Beavers.
Oh,
Oh.
womp womp.
All right, that's going to do us. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you later.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year.